You might be going through the worst season that you've ever been through in your life. You might feel like God has abandoned you almost. You might feel as if the weight of the world is on your shoulders and life is throwing extreme circumstances at you and you feel like you can't even bear it anymore. And you might actually feel anger and frustration towards God. Not necessarily that He's making these things happen to you, but more that He's not intervening. He's not doing anything to stop these things happening to you. And when you go into prayer, you're still being faithful, you're still praying, but there is a lack of authenticity and honesty in your prayers during this season because you feel like you can't bring them to God, that you can't bring your complaints to God. Well, I want to tell you today why this is wrong. And if you've got that mentality, I'm going to invite you to do something that David did, King David, and it's written all over Psalms. Okay, so we know God wants us to do this. If you think of any relationship that you have with anybody, it is based on truth, being honest with one another. Otherwise, there is no relationship at all. So you have to be honest. Okay, so I want to read this psalm, starting with Psalm 22, and just look at how David is speaking to God. All right. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me, so far from my cries of anguish? My God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer, by night, but I do not find no rest. So there, you might be feeling the exact same thing as that, I'm certainly feeling that at the minute. And it's like, it almost feels as if God's just left you out to dry. Like the world is just emptying a clip on you and you just feel like you're just there just taking all the beatings and God is nowhere to be seen. And it can actually leave you really frustrated at God. And I think what I take from this, and it's written all over Psalms, is David is being honest with God. David is being direct and telling God how he feels, and that, like I said before, that is key to any relationship you have with anyone, let alone God, the God that knows how you feel, the God that knows what you want and what you need before you even want or need it. He knows exactly what position you are in. And God just wants you to be honest with him and have that relationship with him, because that's what it is. You're being honest. You will never have a relationship with anyone if you're not honest. If you don't share with them your truth, what you're going through. What relationship is that? It's nothing. There's no weight to it. And I want to read the opening few lines of Psalm 13 just to show you that, this is littered all over Psalms. David is doing this constantly. So this is Psalm 13. How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? So again, like, David's like, where you at? Like, literally, where you at? Have you forgot about me? And this is what we should be doing, right? Like, life is rough, life is tough, and it is gonna beat you and put you on your knees. And when you're there in that moment, you don't want to be pretending to God, just doing when you're praying, like, Our Father, fair enough, do that, but you're not like building any relationship in that time, are you? Be honest with him. Complain to him. Let him know, like, whoa, what is going on? Where are you? Show up. What is going on? I need you, Lord. How long will you forget about me? Be honest with him. If that's how you feel, he already knows how you feel anyway. So it's pointless trying to put a mask on towards God and act like everything's all right and that you're going to be fine. If you don't feel fine, let him know you ain't fine. Like, let him know. Be honest with him, And Jesus did this as well. Look in the garden before the officers come and take him away. He actually references Psalm 22. So Jesus is there. He literally references the first line, my God, why have you forsaken me? He's like, where you at? I don't want to do this. The realization of what was to come was on him, and he was, sweating blood. He was in that much distress. And he is the example for us, and David is the example for us here. King David, all over the Psalms, he's doing the same thing. But what I like about this is, Psalm 22, he's very much complaining at God. He's like, what is going on? Where are you at? Come help me. Why are you not here? Do something. But then in the very next Psalm, Psalm 23, I want to read this to you because I quite like how they've put it right after Psalm 22. And I feel like it's probably been put there for a reason. So the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and your love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So you might feel like you're walking through the darkest valley in your life right now. This might be the toughest thing that you've ever been through. Might be the hardest test that life has thrown at you. But I want you to know, Buzz is here too for you. But I want you to know, and God wants us to know, that he is with us, and to take comfort in the fact that he is with us. That he is guiding us along through that dark valley, and that he will lead us to green pastures and quiet waters. We've just got to walk in faith. It might get dark out. You might not know what's going on, but we just carry on walking in faith because we know that he's leading us and he's going to take us to where we need to be. So I hope that helps, guys. Stay strong. Life's tough, but he's with us. God bless.